every time I play a video game and I found the ultimate attack, in this case, you know, the level 2 limit from each characters, there's always a way to try and abuse it. And Final Fantasy VII Rebirth does not shy away from this, because there is a way to take your limits and get them back all the way, all the time, in an infinite loop. And today's video, we are going to take a look at how to do it, why is it even possible, and how insanely fun it is to be able to tackle the endgame of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. My name is Gotterdamerung. Let's get it. Alright, so this specific strat is more towards the end of the game. So whenever you are going to face the brutal and legendary challenges, more so the brutal ones because you have 3 characters on your team. But this is a way to be able to basically get back all of your limit gauge all the time with Yuffie, and then using a specific material called limit siphoning. It is a support material, a yellow one, that you get from, I think it's Chadley's Intel simulators, where you need to basically do activities in the open world, and whenever you are done with them, each region will give you the opportunity to develop some material. It's really easy to do. You just need to finish, you know, some tower searching and battle intels and things like that, and you will be able to unlock limit siphoning materia that we are going to give to Aeris. We will also give her the medal, which gives you the level 2 limit from the get-go. So now that we have part of the equation done, we need to give Aeris a full limit so she can give her limit back to others. And for that, we are going to use 2 different strats. First of one is with the best accessory in the game, the one you get from defeating all the brutal challenges from Chadley's combat simulations, which is very, very hard, and which is what you're looking at right now. And the other one is without that accessory. That accessory, I am not going to actually pronounce it because I'm going to be vindicated for it for sure, but it's going to give you a full gauge at the start of the fight. So if you give it, for example, to Yuffie, and then Aeris has the medal that gives her the level 2 limit at the start of the actual fight, what you can do is give first strike to Aerith so she can start the actual fight with 1 full ATB charge. She will also have the limit siphoning materia to be able to steal the full gauge from Yuffie and get it for her right away. So she will start the actual fight with a full level 2 limit gauge, completely usable at the start, right after using limit siphoning. The second one is if you do not have that accessory, because it is still very, very difficult to achieve, basically we can use another accessory with Yuffie and a strat that we've shown in this channel from the last video, which is basically going to give you back infinite ATB charges. This time we are going to use it with the Transference Module, which basically every time you use an ATB charge, you will receive limit back. So you can build up your limit gauge really easily with Brumo form, ATB ward, and Yuffie's haste on Yuffie, which basically gives you back lots and lots of ATB, not only for you, but for all the other members on your team. So let's talk about what you are going to need to be able to get this infinite limit feedback loop. So you need this accessory here. This is the first one we were talking about earlier, to be able to get a full limit gauge from the beginning. And then you get the medal to be able to have a level 2 limit with Aeris. Genji gloves, once again, absolutely insane accessory in the game. Very, very tedious to receive because of the long quest that you need to do for Gilgamesh. I will show it to you on the next video this week coming in. But other than that, you will need the limit siphoning materia right here that you got and put it on Aeris. Everything else is basically a little bit of what you really want to use towards your characters. I prefer having Magnify and Haste on Tifa with first strike, so from the get-go she can haste everybody, and then have Aerith use her ATB ward on Yuffie to be able to then proc the infinite ATB combo that we've checked in the previous video. It is super easy to do and not a lot of setup needed to be able to give all these ATB back and all this limit back to your characters, but you will need to understand a little bit of the physics behind it. Basically, when you put an ATB ward inside and you use ATB charges, you give back, ATB to your other characters. The thing is, with Brumal Form, one of the attacks of Yuffie, it uses really minimal amount of ATB, so not maybe 1/4 or 1/5 of a gauge, and it basically still gives back lots and lots of different ATB to the others. So we are going to use and abuse this mechanic, so you actually need at least Aerith and Yuffie. The third character can be optional and the one you prefer. That was for the first way to do it. The second way, if you don't have that amazing necklace that gives you a full limit gauge because you're not done with the brutal challenges yet, you can also do it with a Transference Module. Once again, this module is basically going to give you the opportunity to grow your limit gauge every time you use an ATB attack. As you can see here, this is the setup for the materials. You can, pause this or play it at half speed if you want to have exactly the same as mine. But like I said, you just need one character with Magnify and Time, the other with Magnify and Empowerment if you want to hit a lot of damage. Plus, you want to have Aerith do the ATB ward on Yuffie, and Yuffie use her Brumal Form on that ATB ward while she is hasted. It's as simple as that, and you will be very OP when you use this. A little note, the real strat from what we've seen is basically using the Speed Demon Keychain, which basically gives you ATB charges when you use ATB charges. So if you want to have like a very infinite loop without the Transference Module, without gauging up your limit, you can use that accessory on Yuffie instead of the Transference Module to be able to just create lots and lots of ATB charges. This is the way I've seen on YouTube, and I'm gonna leave the name of the creator underneath in the comments, just so you can see it's his own video. But like I said, this is a little bit of different flavor to it. All right, let's take a look at how it looks in practice. So first and foremost, you are trying to leave the battlefield the further possible to not get hit by any of the actual monsters, and then you want to cast haste first and then wait to see if Aerith is actually getting hit or not. If she's not getting hit, you can use her ATB ward on Yuffie and start using Brumal Form. That is the main setup for all of our build. So once you actually start building up limit or start building up ATBs, you can use ATBs with all the other two characters, whether it is spells or attacks or buffs like haste again or bravery and faith, and you want to try to get the most amount of limit first, so Aerith can then siphon it for her, get her a full 2 gauges to the 2 other companions that you have, and then create that loop back and back and back again. It is very effective. It has a little bit of setup, so you gotta be, a little bit conscious about it, especially if you want to have the level 2 limit with the other character. In this case, Tifa, you will need to use 2 synergy attacks for limit level up. So it can take, a lot of ATB, but, thankfully we have a lot of ATB build up with the strat that I would just show you with Yuffie and the ATB ward. Then you just gotta be a little bit careful on who you siphon the limit from. Sometimes I do things a little bit too fast and I siphon it from Tifa instead of Yuffie, so I end up, still having the limit but not being able to use them back to back. It creates a little bit of downtime. So just be careful, don't go too fast, and you're gonna have a blast with this. Stay tuned for the next video, breaking the 9,999 damage limit with Genji gloves and how to get it. Peace!